The Galactic Council had dismissed Earth as a footnote in their grand arcus, a backwater planet populated by hairless apes who had barely managed to reach their own moon. Humans were classified as pre-integration species 4873, a designation that relegated them to the bottom tier of sentient civilizations. The Council's assessment: Earth would need another 5 centuries before being worthy of formal contact. Captain James Miller of the Earth Defense Force stared at the alien wreckage scattered across the New Mexico desert. "So much for waiting 5 centuries," he muttered. 3 weeks earlier, the Valtteri Empire had broken the Council's non-interference protocols and launched a surprise attack on Earth. The Valtteri, a militaristic species from the Cygnus Arm, had bypassed the Council's monitoring stations and deployed their warships to what they believed would be an easy conquest. They were catastrophically wrong. The first wave of Valtteri ships that entered Earth's atmosphere encountered something they hadn't anticipated. A planet that had spent its entire history fighting itself had become exceptionally good at warfare. "Their shields are calibrated all wrong," explained Dr. Anna Reed, Earth's leading xenotechnology expert, as she examined the downed craft. "They're designed to withstand plasma weapons and gravitational distortion, not kinetic projectiles. Our primitive missiles went straight through." The Valtteri had expected ceremonial surrender from a pre-spacefaring civilization. Instead, they met a species that had perfected the art of killing long before reaching the stars. "Funny thing about being primitive," General Thomas Walker said during the emergency United Nations session. "When you spend millennia perfecting ways to kill each other, you get pretty good at it." Earth's response was unified and merciless. Nations that had once aimed nuclear arsenals at each other now coordinated defense strategies against alien invaders. Chinese interceptors flew alongside American fighters. Russian submarines launched alongside British vessels. The planet's defensive grid, built in paranoid secrecy by competing nations, became its salvation. On the Valtteri command ship, Admiral Crowe could not comprehend the data. How are they doing this? Their technology is centuries behind ours. His tactical officer, Lieutenant Mev, looked grim. "They're adapting, sir. They're studying our downed ships and learning." Within days, humans had reverse-engineered elements of Valtteri technology. Within weeks, they had modified their weapons accordingly. Earth's scientists, who had spent decades theorizing about alien technology, found their hypotheses validated and quickly implemented countermeasures. The Valtteri's second wave met retrofitted human weapons incorporating alien principles. Their third wave encountered human-piloted ships enhanced with salvaged Valtteri technology. "We don't need 5 centuries," Dr. Reed declared as she activated Earth's first hybrid-tech defensive shield around a major city. "We just needed the right motivation." The Valtteri, facing unexpected resistance, called for reinforcements. That's when the Galactic Council finally took notice. Councillor Tev of the Diplomatic Corps arrived at the edge of the solar system aboard the Council flagship. "This unauthorized aggression must cease immediately," he broadcast to the Valtteri forces. Admiral Crowe's response was defiant. "This primitive world holds strategic resources. The Council's protection protocols are merely suggestions, not laws." "Then why," Councillor Tev replied, "are you losing to these primitives?" The question hung in space as Crowe's ships continued to fall to Earth's increasingly sophisticated defenses. When the Council delegation finally made contact with Earth's United Defense Command, they expected to find traumatized survivors grateful for intervention. Instead, they found a species energized by challenge. "We appreciate your concern," said President Maria Wilson during the first official Human Council meeting, "but we've handled the situation. In fact, we're preparing a counteroffensive." The Council representatives exchanged alarmed glances. A counteroffensive from a pre-spacefaring civilization was unprecedented. That would violate numerous protocols, Councillor Tev warned. President Wilson smiled thinly. "The protocols were violated when the Valtteri attacked. We're simply responding in kind." Earth's counteroffensive launched the next day. Ships cobbled together from human technology and Valtteri salvage, piloted by humans who had trained on simulators built in mere weeks by video game developers. The Valtteri never expected humans to take the fight to them. Their homeworld defenses were oriented toward other advanced civilizations, not the improvised but effective human attack craft that bypassed their sophisticated detection systems. "They think in straight lines," explained Commander Alex Brown as he led the Earth fleet. "We think around corners." When the counteroffensive successfully neutralized the Valkyrie leadership and forced their surrender, the Galactic Council was forced to reconsider Earth's classification. How do we categorize a species that jumps from pre-spacefaring to interstellar combat capability in under a month? One council analyst asked. The answer came in Earth's terms for peace: immediate recognition as a full council member with all associated rights and protections. "We won't be classified as primitive again," President Wilson stated firmly, "and we won't be anyone's easy target." In the aftermath, Earth's reputation transformed. The species once dismissed as backward became known as the adapters, beings who could absorb and improve upon any technology they encountered. The Valkyrie Empire paid reparations in the form of technological knowledge. The Council established a permanent embassy in Geneva, and humanity, once isolated, found itself catapulted into galactic politics. Captain Miller, now commanding Earth's first purpose-built interstellar vessel, reflected on the transformation as his ship prepared for its maiden voyage. "They thought we were primitive because we hadn't mastered the stars," he told his crew. "They never considered that we had mastered something far more valuable: the ability to face impossible odds and still find a way to win." As Earth took its place among the stars, the Council quietly updated its first contact protocols. Future reports would carry a new warning about uncontacted worlds. Technological development is not always a reliable indicator of military capability. See Earth, case study. The primitive planet was primitive no more.